Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, thank you, and it stars Simu Liu as the title character, and this is a new Marvel character that we're being introduced for the first time in the MCU, Shang-Chi, who's now being introduced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's talk about it. So in this movie, Wenwu is the leader. Wenwu is recently the leader of the Ten Rings organization that we mostly discover in the Iron Man movies. And also Shang-Chi has been trained. Shang-Chi has been trained, but basically when he was a child, when he was a kid and a teenager, he's been trained by his father Wenwu. Now since Shang-Chi's all grown up, he's having a wonderful life. He's having a wonderful life, and he's having a wonderful life and living in San Francisco. And also he's friends with his old friend, with his best friend Katie, and now Shang-Chi is being dragged back to his family, and now he has to face against his father and fight against these 10 ranks that his father has, and now we got our movie. I was really looking forward to seeing this movie, is because after watching the trailer I actually did a trailer reaction for this movie. So I saw this movie in theaters today, and oh my god, I gotta tell you, Shang-Chi is a great movie. I knew this movie was going to get positive, and also too, I didn't get nervous about this movie. I knew this movie was going to get blast positive reviews. I love this movie. There will be some things I like and some things I don't know if I will like, but I really was really interested in seeing this movie because I never heard this Shang-Chi character ever in my life. Ever. And it's true. So, now I heard the character now, but when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was thinking, I'm gonna check this movie out. But I was just like, I don't know, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna check it out. I checked it out today, and I loved it. I love this movie. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is easily one of the best Marvel movies I've ever seen this year, and I'm surprised this is not another superhero movie. I'm surprised this is not another superhero movie because I think Marvel wanted to do something else with this movie. Be like, you know what, this is not just a superhero movie, which is not really a superhero movie. This movie is basically another Marvel movie that we're doing that is something different. So, basically with Black Panther, it's not just another superhero movie, it's also another Marvel movie that they're doing something different. They did something different with it. With Shang-Chi, they did the same thing with it, to my opinion. They did something different with this movie. But I was really, really excited. Of all the stuff that I see in this movie does remind me of mostly like the 90s, 70s, 60s, 80s, martial art karate movies or action movies or the Bruce Lee films. This movie kind of reminds me of mostly like the Bruce Lee martial art movies, a little bit like the Jackie Chan martial art films that some of y'all have seen. Yeah. So I think that's it. So let's talk about the actors and the characters. Let's start with Simu Liu. Simu Liu is a badass dude. I gotta tell you, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi is great casting. I thought he was a perfect choice for Shang-Chi. All I can say is he has really good acting. He knows how to do some really incredible martial art karate action skills in this movie. This guy knows what he's doing. He's not being forced. He's just doing what he's doing. He's just doing what he's doing, and that's it. And I bet that Simu Liu is the great character, is really great as Shang-Chi, and that's all I can say for him. And I think I feel like he should own the entire movie because he's easily the best part of this movie. Now I do want to talk about Tony, what's his name? Tony Leung, who as Wenwu, and him as Wenwu, he's sort of like a father / villain, and he is the villain of this movie. They didn't make him lazy. They actually got him, to my opinion, they got him correctly and positively, more as a villain. He's more of the villain in this movie because he has these 10 rings that's on his wrist. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. On his forearms, I'm sorry. Throughout the entire movie, he has these rings. They look like bracelets to me. They look like bracelets to me a little bit, but I'm gonna say they're just rings. They're just like big rings that fit on his forearms throughout the entire movie, and he just uses those for his powers. And I think Tony Leung as Wenwu, as the dad Flash villain, I gotta tell you, I love this villain. This villain is awesome. I love this villain in this movie. And also, he's also a badass in this movie. And also, I do want to talk about Aquafina as Katie, and I feel like she's really funny in this movie. She didn't annoy me, not one single bit. Not at all. She didn't annoy me. She was hilarious. I did laugh at some of her jokes in this movie, and I thought she was hilarious. And also, like I say, for Aquafina, and also, she's sort of like a sister figure to Shang-Chi, and that's it. But I think Aquafina is really good in this movie. But I do want to talk about is Minger Hang as Shai Ling. Well, that's her actual name. That's the actual actress's name. Minger Hang, well, with a Z at the end of her last name, which means the Z is silent. But her as Shai Ling, she's in the movie, but you only see her probably at least later probably in the middle of the movie, and I'm just like, really? Okay, alright. But I think she's really great in this movie, and I really liked her character as Shai Ling. And yeah, she plays Shang-Chi's younger sister, in my opinion. But when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was just like, wait a second, is Shang-Chi which is the oldest, which is the youngest, Shang-Chi or which one's the oldest or the youngest? Shang-Chi or Shai Ling? I'm gonna say Shai Ling is mostly the youngest. And the oldest is Shang-Chi, and I got a little bit confused. I'm like, oh, never mind. That's it. So I think that's it for Shai Ling, and I thought she was really terrific in this movie. And I do want to talk about. I want to say something about Michelle Yeoh. That's all like a. Well, I don't know. Well, I can't really pronounce her last name well, but I'm gonna say Yeoh as her last name. So Michelle Yeoh is not in the movie all that much, but I thought she was really good in this movie, but she's not in the movie all that much. I think, in my opinion, you only see her for at least later in the movie, probably later in the middle of the movie, and I was just like, why didn't we see her then? Why didn't we see her at the beginning of the movie, which I wish we did, but she's not in the movie all that much, which I wish she actually was in the beginning of the movie, not in the middle, no offense. I just wish they did. I just wish they actually fixed that for her, and that's probably it. Now, I do want to say that we have here is Razorfist, who's played by Florian I forgot that Montino, whatever his last name is, I don't really care. But who we have here is Florian Montino. Y'all may know him from Creed 2 as Drago's son, as Drago's son in the movie, and he was really great in that movie. But in this movie, he's not really acting like a villain. He's just more like a supporting character. But I thought he was a total badass in this movie. Him as Razorfist, he's a badass in this movie, and that's all I can say for him. And that's pretty much it for everything. And I think that's it for, and also with everyone else who's also good in this movie. And that's pretty much it for the actors and the characters. Now, with this movie, in my opinion, I was really, really, really excited for the action scenes. There's some incredible action sequences in this movie, but I'm not going to spoil them for them. I mean, I'm not going to spoil the action sequences, which I know some of y'all have seen in the trailer, but I'm not going to, those have never seen the trailer, not going to say anything about the action sequences. There's some incredible action sequences in this movie, like hand-to-hand combat action scenes, some really credible moves, some really credible martial art action moves in this movie. That I really love the action sequences because I feel like the cinematography of all the action sequences in this movie really, really shines on me, and I really, really I really had a lot of hope with all the action sequences. All the action fight scenes in this movie is awesome, and I love it, and I think that's all I gotta say. Most of the other action, I love all the action sequences, but sometimes it can be a little bit shaky cam, and the camera, I think sometimes the camera needs to learn. I mean, there's some scenes that the camera can relax with the action sequences, but sometimes just a little bit rushed through. Which I wish they would just relax the camera work, keep it calm, and focus on the action scene and figure out so we can actually figure out what's going on. And they actually do that, but sometimes they just like they're just just going back and forth, just making it a little more shaky cam and going this way and that way. And I'm like, okay, slow down, let's calm down, let's take it easy, and that's it. But but anyway, the action scenes are incredible. And I do like the culture scene in this movie. Now, I do like a couple of, one of my favorites, incredible things I really like is, there's some great things I like about the movie as well. There's about culture, this movie's not just about fighting and action, it's also about family. It's about Asian and Chinese culture. And that actually teaches other people who never heard about Asian or Chinese culture. But this movie actually, most in my opinion, the culture about the Asians and the Chinese, about the Asian and Chinese culture is great, and it looks beautiful and all that. And I do love the cinematography of some of the scenes. I really like some of the locations. I really like. Even though this movie is like 2 hours long, even though most of the Marvel movies are 2 hours, most of the Marvel movies are like 2 hours long, and I think some of them are most of them are like 2 hours long. But this one's also a 2 hour long movie. This movie is really incredible, but all I can say is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is one of the best Marvel movies I've ever seen this year. And also, I really like some of the humor in this movie, but sometimes the humor just could be a little bit too much. But but to my opinion, I didn't care. So I did laugh at some of the jokes, but some of the jokes I'm just like, okay, I just don't understand what y'all say. I just don't understand why would you say that. But who cares? But I think some of the humor in this movie could have been better. Some of the humor is really, really funny, and a little bit, I think some of the jokes in this movie can be a little bit too much, or some of the jokes in this movie could be funny. But I gotta tell you, Shang-Chi and the Legend, but even though this movie is one of the best Marvel movies, and I really enjoyed this movie, even though I got Shang-Chi right there, I got Wenwu right there. These guys are incredible. Now, I do want to talk about, I forgot to talk about the final battle. The final battle is freaking incredible. But I did find some things I did not like about the final battle. I wanted the final battle to mostly focus on is Shang-Chi and Wenwu. They did that, but sometimes it could be a little bit, but sometimes I said, no, this needs to focus on Shang-Chi and Wenwu, just like having a little face-off fight. Like, it's mostly son versus father in this movie, or father versus son. And I'm like, okay. But I think the final battle is great, but I think I wish they did something a little bit cool with it. But I do love the final battle. The final battle is badass, and I loved it. That's all I gotta say. And there's not so much to say about the movie for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And I think that's about pretty much it. And also too, I hope we do see Simu Liu back as Shang-Chi. I hope we do see Simu Liu back as Shang-Chi, maybe sometimes later in the other Marvel movies, maybe sometimes later in the future in the other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. We don't know. We don't know when are we going to see Simu Liu again as Shang-Chi. I hope he does appear in other Marvel movies, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe sometimes later in some other Marvel movies. Like, I don't know. But I think that's all I gotta say. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see him again. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see Shang-Chi again in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Maybe sometimes later in the other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And that's all I gotta say. And I think that's about it for this movie review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And I think that's about it. So be sure to like, subscribe, press the notification button, follow me on Instagram, comment down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.